Hey, Nick Marzak with Full Compass. We are here still at VO Atlanta 24. I am with a fantastic voice actor. This is... I've been talking a lot this week. You can tell. This is Chris McCloy.
Hey.
Chris, you do everything. You do video games. You do commercial, pharmaceutical, or medical.
Yeah, a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything. Yeah. Character.
Yeah.
So it's just everything. So, Chris, you had mentioned something during your interview on the Making Waves podcast that I really wanted to talk about. You said you use primarily a 416.
I do.
Industry standard. I feel like that's like always the safe bet.
Yep.
But if you're doing video games, you'll jump to a TLM 103.
Yes.
What's going on there? What's going on?
The ration, it's more about performance. All of the exertion that was needed in the performance, because when I was doing commercial stuff or if I was doing e-learning or something, you're in the pocket, and the 416 is so wonderful to give you that sort of close space.
Yeah.
That you still have to have your mic presence. So you still got to be thinking about that. But the 103, or if I could afford it, UAB7, it was so much more forgiving in the area, and it needed to get more of my physicality. It needed to pick up a little bit more than just the voice.
Yeah.
So because of that, that was why I always jumped to it. And then the producers on the other side, if I was doing a video game, they're like, we need to get some exertions at the end.
Yeah.
So you're doing that kind of thing, but you're still trying to stay obviously within your boots. You can't jump around that much. But you can.
That's why I lose all the time.
You can exert yourself just enough, and the TLM just has just enough broad room to almost get more of the human, more of the physicality of it.
Yeah.
And then the voice is just going to back it up. So
I love that you're bringing this up, because so many people, especially if they're new to voiceover, don't realize how much acting there is through voice.
Yeah.
And you're putting yourself in these characters, and you have to emote, sometimes even more so, obviously, than film, where it's like very subtleties but like your voice is the only expression that you have.
Yeah.
And so your body helps you get there.
Yeah. Or using half of your body. Like somebody asks you to run, but don't make any noise.
Yeah.
Like with your feet.
Yeah.
So you're, all right, well, lock your feet in the ground. You're kind of doing that kind of thing, right? And then you got to get on a box. And then you got to grab onto this, right? And you're doing all of this kind of stuff. And, and you want the best possible mic to pick up all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And that 416, once you start doing that, you lose the cardioid. You're out.
Yeah, and it's so much easier to get off mic.
Yeah.
And then the editor on the other end, he's like, dude, do it again.
Yeah. And you'd also mention, sorry, I'm just covering everything basically from the Making Waves podcast. Very good friends of Full Compass. And you had mentioned the most important thing to you, especially for starting out, is the space.
Yes.
And that's something that people don't think about. They think, oh yeah, we got to get this and get that. Gear is great, but you need the space to be able to make it work.
Yeah.
So can you talk about that a little bit more?
Well, it's just that what I found, because in your history or in the arc of your journey, is that you'll start in a crappy space. You'll start with a curtain or a closet or something, and then you elevate up to something that's a little bit more produced, or you buy yourself a booth or something like that. But what I found is that when I had a USB mic and it was in a kind of a crappy space, it was just like in a closet or whatever, the quality actually wasn't that bad. But when I elevated to a point where I was getting a 416 and you put it in that equally crappy place, unfortunately the 416 just exploited all the flaws.
Yeah.
So any noise that bleeded through, if there was a window nearby or any reflective surfaces, because they're so much more sensitive mics, they end up picking up the things that the less expensive mic was actually kind of hiding, because it didn't have the nuances for it.
Yeah.
So my logic was, if the space is treated better, then the mic that you have almost is inconsequential, because you're not really worrying about what is going to bleed through.
Yeah.
And then eventually you get your space is so great.
Yeah.
And the mics are so great, then you're working with bigger companies and stuff like that. So you work your way up to that.
Yeah.
But it's not the mic.
Yeah.
The mic is not the driving force for quality. The space, I feel, the space really is.
What kind of interface are you using?
I'm using Apollo.
Nice. Yeah. Awesome. That seems to be, everyone here is like either SSL2 or Apollo or, a lot of Focusrite Scarlett, the kind of entry level thing. But I love Apollo. I had it for.
They're very clean. They're very simple.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like when Apple was when the iPhone came out and everyone just went, oh, crap. Apollo, as far as interfaces goes, I feel like it's the same thing. Everyone just went, well, that's so simple.
Yeah.
It's so easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that kind of thing.
Well, Chris, thank you so much for talking
It's a
to
pleasure.
us. Yeah.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah. Keep it right here at VO Atlanta with Full Compass.